Hey folks, welcome back to Candace Boxing Channel. I hope everyone's doing well and having a good day. To boxing. There's been a lot of talk about whether or not AJ will fight Tyson Fury, whether or not AJ will fight even Deontay Wilder. It seems that, every day we turn around, there's a new rumor or speculation about whether Anthony Joshua will fight anybody. And everyone's got an opinion, right? Many of us have said that, yes, it would be nice to see AJ fight Fury, because that sort of puts a period at the end of the sentence, sort of closes out that era. And other people have said, forget it. They're both past their best. We don't really care. Well, Spencer Fearon and Hatman have both been speaking on social media about a possible AJ deal with Turki Alalshikh for 3 fights. Now, when one of my most favored and one of my least favored boxing commentators speak about the same story, I'm thinking, well, maybe there is something to that. So the 3-fight deal that apparently, I think Spencer Fearon might be the source of this. So, take it with pinches of salt as you see fit, right? Is that AJ and Turki Alalshikh are putting together this 3-fight deal, with the first 2 fights are against Dillian Whyte and then Jared Anderson, with the 3rd fight being Tyson Fury. It's interesting. I'm not giving this, more or less credibility, to be honest, than I've given some of the other names that have been touted out there, right? But let's just break this down a little bit, if this is true. So a 3-fight deal. Dillian Whyte, I can see. Yes, there's some bad blood between AJ and Dillian Whyte. The last time they met, Dillian Whyte was stopped by Anthony Joshua. Dillian Whyte, also known as the Body Snatcher, of course, he's 36, 37. Record is 31-3. He's been beaten by Povetkin, Fury, and AJ. I can see how there would be some sale of this fight. It's a grudge match. There's bad blood historically, etc. So I'll buy that for $1. Okay. The way that Dillian Whyte is now, physically, I think he's shot. Anthony Joshua is physically in, if not absolutely tip-top shape, very close to. And I mean, Anthony Joshua is a great athlete, right? So the coordination gap and the skills gap and the athleticism gap should all favor Anthony Joshua. As we know, AJ's biggest problem, well, not as we know, as we speculate, AJ's biggest problem tends to be between his ears, right? But let's assume that AJ would be able to get through Dillian Whyte. So that would be fight number 1 of the 3-fight deal sort of checked off, right? And then Jared, the real big baby, Anderson, who's 25, let's say 26 by the time he fought AJ. AJ, by the way, is 35 now. So, 35, 36, right? AJ, 10 years older than Anderson. Anderson also an athlete. 18-1. His only loss against Martin Bakole, against whom he fought the totally wrong fight. But Anderson hasn't shone since the Bakole beatdown. Anderson, to be perfectly honest, my own opinion, right? He's also got some issues with what I would say would be commitment. I'm not sure if he lives the life outside the ring. I'm not sure if he really, really, really wants this. So there's some question about between the ears for Big Baby Anderson and AJ. Honestly, I would think that AJ would prevail, but I don't know. Anderson hits hard. I really don't know. At one time, I would have said, well, of course, AJ will win. But today, I've got to say, I really don't know. Anyways, that's just assuming that that fight goes ahead. And then we're left with fight number 3 against Fury. Well, my criticism, if you like, of this 3-fight deal is that if AJ should lose to anybody, then that jeopardizes, in my view, the Fury fight. Fury fight for AJ and the AJ fight for Fury is really the only fight that makes much sense for these two. And if they take a loss on the road to that fight, it will in some ways devalue that fight. So if AJ moves to 28-5, let's say he gets beat by, it doesn't matter, anybody, put a number, put a name in there. It's less appealing. Likewise, if Fury has a comeback fight against anybody and doesn't do too well, again, the fight loses its value. The fight's marketable at the moment, AJ Fury. Though I don't know if it's marketable enough for them to make the massive paychecks that people are talking about. Somebody was talking the other day of paying Fury $100 million. So let's say that Fury and AJ both get $100 million. Because I can't imagine either wanting to take less than the other, right? So the fight's got to generate $200 million before anything else. So I'm not sure if that, yes, the fight will generate massive numbers, but I'm not sure if these massive numbers are going to be massive enough to pay the uber massive purses that each of Fury and AJ want. I'm just not sure if there's enough juice in that fruit, to make it worth that squeeze, right? But anyhow, there you go. A 3-fight deal being talked about with these names. What do you think? Do you think that there's any merit to this? Do you think that any of these fights make sense? I tell you what makes sense to me. What makes sense to me is, if you're AJ, you focus on Fury. If the Fury fight isn't happening, you try to cash out with Deontay Wilder. And then you call it a day. But hey, that's just my view, right? I suspect that we'll see lots and lots of these rumors. I'll report on them if they have sort of any kind of legs, and time will tell. That's what they always say, right? Okay, well, that's it for me for the moment. Please like, please share, please subscribe. I hope you enjoyed watching Coach's Corner yesterday. I must say a huge thank you again to Julian McGowan for coming on and talking to us about interesting things from a coach's perspective. So if you haven't seen that video, please go and have a look. Anyways, that's all from me for the moment. I'll see you on the next video, wherever you are in the world. Have a fabulous day. Thank you for watching.